Hey, Blue Roses. Welcome back to another edition of the Blue Rose blog. What do I want to talk about today? I want to talk about something that has been plucking away at my heartstrings, and I have to kind of put it out there, and that is passion. And I mean passions from the sense of your gifting, your talent, the innate thing that has been placed inside of you from the inception of your life that you will cultivate through life experiences, through education, through your interactions that will ultimately become that edifying factor that you have to pursue to leave your fingerprint in the world. And I want to talk about how the cultivation, growth, and elevation of your passions takes patience. This blog, I will say, is a literal real life process for me. It is something that, as I am talking to you and openly sharing with you and bouncing ideas as they come back and forth, it is something that I am pulling from as well. Patience is not one of my strong suits. God has done a lot to mature me in the area of being patient, helping me to understand how important it is to the outcome of a situation, of a season, of something that I'm waiting for me to be patient. I'm a witness that when you wait for particular things, you do find yourself in a space where when it comes to fruition, you're like, yeah, I'm glad I waited. But knowing that I've waited in the past and then something else comes up and I need to wait for this, I'm still like, but why? Why? I don't want to be patient. But I've found that for the passions that have been placed inside of you, for those innate things that have been seated in you that might not have yet taken root to become a thing, you need to allow patience to have its perfect work. And so let's talk about your passions for a little bit. Let's really dig into it. There's a thing that you may have found yourself enamored with. You're like, ooh, I really like this. And I'm talking about healthy passions, things that are productive to your whole person, right? There's a gift you have, there's a talent you have, and maybe even in its rawest form, you find yourself just like, wow, I would love to be able to do this for the duration of my life. And typically, the passions that God has placed in us, they don't just benefit us, they have outcomes that affect and impact other people. And the more you do it, the more you pursue it, the more you chip away at it and build it, you find yourself extremely satisfied as you produce from that place of passion. And so I want to talk a little bit about that patience journey. I found that being patient is one of the more challenging parts of the fruit of the Spirit because the fruit of the Spirit is made up of several components. It's not just one separate fruit from the other, but it's like several: long suffering, self control, patience. All of those components make up the fruit of the Spirit. It is one of the more challenging bites of the fruit of the Spirit for me, being patient. And as I mentioned before, although I found patience has produced some of the most effective, impactful things in my life, but yet I still struggle. When it comes to your passions, the first thing you have to do is recognize and understand, who do they impact? Who do they help? When you really understand that, it'll help you want to take time to build it out, to produce whatever it is it's supposed to produce, because you want to make sure that who it is intended to reach, it does, and it has the impact that it needs to have. I realize that sometimes we can be passionate for things, and the truth is, we don't really want to do the work to get it to the place where it can be consumed, where it can be shared, because it can get frustrating, right? It can get frustrating when you have a desire so deep in your heart to do a thing, to produce something, to create something, and it takes a certain amount of work, and you try a little bit, but because you don't see an outcome quick enough, you're like, yeah, I quit, right? I'll even use I Am Valuable for an example. The idea for this program, God gave it to me in 2008. I started putting information out there way before the big social media age, before digital marketing and content creation was a big thing. I used the tools that I had to be able to articulate to people what the program was about. And the foundation of I Am Valuable initially started on trying to help young people who were subject to the epidemic of sex trafficking, that horrible, horrible thing that's happening where so many people are being victimized. And so I wanted to put something in place that would highlight the value of people, and they would see that value in themselves, where if they were subject to some sort of violence or some sort of violation of who they are, sexual assault, things like that, that this would allow them to see, hey, I have value in spite what has happened to me. No matter who loves me, who doesn't, who rejected me, I still have value that matters in this earth. That's what I Am Valuable. That's the foundation that it stood on, and it's a part of its foundation today. But 2008, again, didn't have the tools, didn't have the resources, didn't have the community. It was being built out. Here we are 14 years later. We've served over 300 girls and women through different activities, through different events. And even though I Am Valuable does not have like established curriculums, we've not won a lot of grants for funding, we've been able to make an impact. And I can remember how hard it was waiting for things to come to fruition. Even now, I'm doing some restructuring to the program. It's a challenge for me because I want this program to make an impact in the way that God has impressed it on my heart. I realize that takes patience. That also takes maturity on my part. I have to mature and understand the needs as they change in the communities so that whatever it is that God intends to produce from this program, it will. That takes patience. The passion of I Am Valuable is still my passion. And I won't give up on it because my passions won't allow me to. It's a part of my purpose. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. If you listen to this blog, feel free to leave a question wherever you hear it. If you hear it on the YouTube channel, if you hear it on one of the social media outlets, let's talk about it. If you're listening from the website, your passions. What are some of the challenges you have in that patience journey when you're in pursuit of your passions? What are some things that you want to happen right now? And as you think about that, the patience that you need to have to produce, what is it going to take? Like let's really ponder on that for a minute. But I also want to take a moment to encourage you and say, know that it is worth the wait. Do the work that you need to do, even if it's small and it seems insignificant. You're like, why do I have to spend so much time doing research about this? Why do I have to spend so much time trying to understand the demographic that it's going to reach? Why? I would like to just do it right now. Understand that if you take the time to build a solid foundation, the house can stand forever. So I just wanted to come in. I didn't want to keep you guys too long. I wanted to try to keep this at a solid 10 minutes. And I wanted to talk about passion takes patience. It takes time for you to grow. It takes time for you to mature. Be okay with tending the soil even though you don't see a plant yet. Be okay with knowing that what's in you is in you. It isn't going anywhere. No one can take it from you. It's yours. It's your gift. It's your talent. It's your desire. It's your vision. But it is also your responsibility to ensure that you do your due diligence so that whatever is in you can be nurtured and produce with the impact that God intended. Passion takes patience. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this blog today. Visit www.iamvaluablementoring.org to learn more about our program. We would love to connect with you.